You know, many people don't know about Chris Hani, probably have never seen him speak because this man died long time ago, before technology was a thing, before they could document most of his teachings, most of his thought processes. But at least there's some people who were able to document and upload these things online for us to find them at the right time. Today I want to play to you a clip. I want you to understand something about the negotiations of Cortez, the negotiations that happened in 1994, how they came about, what happened for them to be the way they were, why was the ANC government working with Abu Titlek, and all of those things. I want you to listen to this because this man is going to share it to you. And we know when he speaks about the government of the ANC, he's speaking about everyone involved, even about Ramaphosa, even about President Jacob Zuma. Everyone, because these people were all in the ANC back then. Listen to this.
It is just over a year since the de Klerk government unbanned the African National Congress, the PAC, the party, and other organizations. It was an act of courage on his part after so many years of naked repression by his predecessors. We believe that the crisis which gripped our country for so many years at least made de Klerk a realist and forced him to take the only option that was available, namely to unban the ANC and to release the leaders of the ANC and to allow, even on a temporary basis, those who were in exile to come back. I think it is important to assess this period. What has happened in South Africa within this year since the ANC was unbanned? For the first time in our history, leaders of a liberation movement engaged the racist government in discussions on a basis of equality. We discussed the critical problems facing the country in an attempt to resolve the crisis of apartheid and racism, and to work out a new dispensation in our country. And that dispensation, of course, in our view, is a united, non-racial, and democratic South Africa. I think generally there's broad agreement on this issue. In their statements, the leaders of the Nationalist Party have expressed their commitment to a non-racial democratic South Africa. There are differences about the modalities towards this objective. The ANC is putting forward the idea of an interim government and a constituent assembly. It is our view that since the government is both a player and a referee, that position would not guarantee us impartiality. We had earlier in the year called for an all-party congress where the different groups would meet to discuss the broad principles of a new constitution. There was an agreement on this between the ANC and the Nationalist Party government, although the PAC and other organizations had reservations about this. As I indicated, ladies and gentlemen, there have been two major meetings with the government so far, culminating in the Grooteskir and Pretoria minutes. There have been various working groups composed of representatives of the government and the ANC. Agreements were hammered out on the release of political prisoners and the return of exiles. As you are aware, we also made a commitment to suspend armed actions and related activities. But as press people, you know that there's been an alarming escalation of violence in our townships, especially in Natal and the Reef, for the last 8 months. Statistics come out with chilling figures of the deaths, mostly of black South Africans. This violence has generated a lot of tension between the regime and ourselves. It is our view that the regime has not used its security forces to stop acts of violence mainly directed against black communities. It is also our view that at least on 2 occasions, the police themselves have participated in violence against the people. We see a government which is not taking adequate steps to punish police officers who connive at acts of violence. We are also very worried and indeed agonized by the existence of CCBs, Askaris, Kofut, and Battalion 32 in our country. We feel that these groups have got a right-wing orientation with very deep animosity towards the African National Congress. It is indeed our view that though the government is talking to us, it wants to talk to a weakened ANC and a fragmented African National Congress. It was with these fears that we addressed an open letter to President de Klerk demanding, amongst other things, that he should legislate against the public display of the so-called cultural weapons, that he should disband the units I've referred to, Askaris, Kofut, CCBs, etc., and that the disbanding should be done by an independent commission. We also call upon him to dismiss 2 ministers we hold responsible in failing to curb the ongoing violence. In that open letter, we said that if our demands are not complied with, we shall pull out of the ongoing talks. Another area of concern on the part of the African National Congress is the issue of sanctions. White politicians, including the government in our country, feel that they've done enough to warrant the lifting of sanctions. They say they've already committed themselves to the scrapping of apartheid. And indeed, on paper, at any rate, they've repealed some laws. The victims of apartheid, the ANC, PAC, Party, COSATU, etc., are saying very little has happened in our country. Apartheid is still in place. We're still ruled by a white minority, and that we have not reached a stage where changes are irreversible.